And there we go. All right, Gunnar, you here tonight? This is Where's the M6? Whoops. That's M6. All right. Let's tap some extrusion tonight. I am 2 minutes early. Which no one ever complained about me early, but everyone is quick to complain about me being late. That's what it is. Hey, Vince, how you doing? Oh, man. I got lots of printing done today. A lot more things printing. Got more parts for the Prusa Minis done. I got all the parts for Ultra Magnus finished up. I just forgot that I didn't print a few parts. Thankfully, I didn't need them last night, I guess. So they're ready. I don't need them tonight either. We'll be using them tomorrow night. I'm sorry, not tomorrow, on Monday night. That's what it is. Tonight, kind of hang out a little bit. I want to do a little bit of deal with the extrusion. Get some of y'all's opinion. Kind of go from there. Finish prepping some of these parts. Yeah, I had shaved off my beard last weekend for a event, and now it is slowly coming back. I guess it takes me like, what, 3 weeks, I guess, to get back to a normal-ish looking beard. Unless you're my brother-in-law, you get a beard in like a day, but we all can't be mountain men, so it's fine. To clean up a few parts I was looking through, I didn't do any the cleanup on them. Most of them are pretty good and pretty solid. There's a few that just had a little bit of strings in them, so just had to kind of clean them up a little bit. A little bit of boogers from the PTG, which does happen. But all in all, these came out really clean for the most part. A few little spots here and there that I wasn't too happy with. I also did get the new Y mount printed. Aaron sent me that last night. So I have the new Y mount already went ahead and threw the motor on it just so it's kind of ready to go. And the last parts are red right now. If you're on the Discord, you can see the What I'm Printing channel. That's hooked up to my Mark III's, so you can kind of see what I'm printing on that machine. And I have the LCD case I didn't print, and I forgot to print the spool holder and reverse Bowden tube hookup. So those are all printing off of there now. Oh, Andrew, thank you for coming. And thank you for enjoying the live streams. These are, well, I guess the videos, now the live streams. So, speaking of doing things live, I'm going to show you guys a little test I did today. So, as I told you, I need to put another piece of extrusion underneath this front bar. And I went ahead and cut down that extrusion. And the size of this really doesn't matter. It's just to give a little bit of a different look to the front. And it will add, again, a little bit of rigidity to it, but we're not really going for that. It doesn't really need it. It's pretty rigid as it is. But I do want to make sure that everything is solid. So we're going to add on these other pieces. And I've kind of toyed with, well, Brandon, who also built this machine, same Ultra Magnus, similar color scheme. Some of his parts are printed differently. But he had some red anodized aluminum extrusion that he put on the bottom bars, and it looks pretty sweet. I like it. I don't have any of that, and ordering just that, didn't really find a good source of it. So this is still a little bit tacky. So I went ahead and did a test, and I have some red caliper paint from Duplicolor, which is really, really hard stuff, and it's really, really high temperature resistant, and it takes a while to cure. This one's only been curing for about 4 hours, and it's still not quite tacky, but you feel it a little bit still. It takes 24 hours for it to fully cure. So I'm going to show you guys this up close, and then just what standard black would look like. So let me switch the other camera here, make it a little bit either. Dimple, what's up, man? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and zoom this in a little bit, like that. Okay, so we have just, again, some simple black aluminum extrusion, and in the front, that will end up getting sandwiched like so with some blind joints. Okay, easy enough. But I wanted to see what it would look like with a piece of the red extrusion under it, and it would look like that. Now on camera, that shows up much, much brighter, and it is shiny. It is a high gloss enamel caliper paint. It's specifically made for painting your calipers on your car. And I kind of want to see what you guys think. Do you like the way that this red extrusion looks? It will be capped off and also held on with this blue corner. So it would look kind of like that on the front of the printer. Obviously this one is way longer, but just to kind of give you an eye of what it would look like. So it could be like that, or it could be, again, that is a little bit tacky. It could be just this here. So having the black on black, this will actually end up going like way out there further, but it would look like that. So obviously this would come to the end. I mean, dealing with what I can right here, it's easier to see. But having the black big bottom, this black piece here to be black, and then black on top. So I'm kind of curious what you guys think would be the best. I kind of had mixed in the Discord, but I'm also waiting to see to ensure that this does get really, really hard as it says it should. And it shouldn't get scratched at all. It's also, again, it's hard paint because it's meant for a caliper. Like it's meant to be superheated and whatnot. So I'm waiting just to make sure this does get really nice and hard. But once it gets installed, it won't even be touching the table. It's just kind of like a facade in the front there. And I do have these corner caps that will sit on the side to kind of cap it off there. So I don't think it looks that bad. I was a little heavy on the paint. This is just a small cutoff that I had of silver, but you can definitely see that it is still a little bit tacky. If you can see my fingerprint in there or not, but yeah, my fingerprint is on this test piece. I definitely need to take my time. It's been raining most of the day here, so it's very, very humid right now. What's humidity at? Here in the office, it's 55%. But it's been very, very humid today because of all the rain. I'm hoping to have a few days or at least a day of no rain that I'm home. I'm at work on, what's today, Saturday, home tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to. So yeah, like I said, kind of want to hear what you guys think. In the meantime, I'm gonna do a little bit of drilling, a little bit of tapping tonight. I might go ahead and just get these kind of test fit on there to make sure they fit on there well and they look good. I tried cutting this piece exactly in half. Obviously it didn't happen. So I just need to make sure I match up the sides so that they right place. Yeah. So we'll put these two shorter ones in the back. These two will go for the front. And these will be the outside. These will be the inside. So I need to tap with an M6 one side of these. Because these are larger, I need to tap them. So they're not M5. It's just this extrusion that I have laying around. I wish I had some more of the V-slot, but I just don't. Yeah, and I wish I had a couple pieces of this matte black anodized V-slot in 2040, because then I would just obviously use that. Well, Gunner, it's too late. There's lots of white parts in here. And that is Ultra Magnus's color scheme. So whether it's USA patriotic or it's Ultra Magnus, it works for me either way. As an American, I've got my America printer. Why not? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the non-Americans that don't like that. What's up? Oh, he's up here. Oh, here he comes. Hey, Bunny. You come say hi to everybody. Oh, Mom's stealing them. Say hi. Come here. You say hi. Whoa, don't jump out of my hands. Don't jump out of my hands. That's a bad trip. That's a bad trip. Okay, okay, okay. Say hello, hello. Go with Mommy. Opa. All right, let's get this. I need to get out a little bit of oil here. And I need to get a shop towel. Shouldn't take any more than a minute to do. But again, if anyone has any questions on the build so far, do let me know. Happy to answer the questions. The aluminum is super soft. Oil on it. Hey, you're coming back now. Mom let you go, huh? Well, I could do that. Man. I'm only have to go in a few millimeters to get the M6s to fit, which actually I need to buy because the ones that I have are humongous socket cap head ones. They are absolutely enormous. So I can't really use those because they block the hole from the other one. So I just need to get some panhead M6s in. I just don't have any yet, which is kind of a bummer. I really wish I did. If you're going to be in here and eat my boxes, how about no? That is right, Gunner. The rest of the world. I'm okay with that. I'm actually going to go ahead and just clamp this to the printer because it'll make it easier to drill these real quick. I do hope that when I move, I have the space for a little vise. I used to have a little vise, and I don't know where it is anymore. That definitely would make things a little bit easier. That's pretty good. It's 3/4 of the bit. Give that a wash later on, but we'll get everything test fit tonight. And then we'll wash it all down, we'll degrease everything, and then we'll go ahead and give it a paint. I'm hoping for less rain tomorrow because I would love to paint tomorrow. Get all 4 of these done at once, then get them reinstalled. I just want to have the the tapping done on them. So we're doing the ugly end with the tap, because that's going to get covered with a 3D printed part. I mean, the non-covered part, or the non-nice part, is going to get covered anyways. Yay. There. Hey Ryan, what's up, man? How you doing? All right, that's 2 down and 2 to go. Doing this cut size here. Maybe we'll also go ahead and get out some wire, and we'll go ahead and put a new wire onto the power supply. Because as Brandon mentioned late in the stream yesterday, stock power cable is not long enough. Yeah, not much, Ryan. I am just working on some extrusion here. If you go back a few minutes, Ryan, you'll show where I showed off the painted extrusion and just black on black. So I'm thinking the painted extrusion is the way to go for the bottom decorative pieces. Again, they are really only for decoration. A little bit of stability, but a lot of decoration. So there's one. And I also found out that I can use the stock bolts, the 20 mils that were originally holding this extrusion in the front and the back. I can reuse those bolts with the T-nuts in order to do the blind joints on these, which is fantastic. I guess they're not truly blind joints, but they're pretty close to it. So, Steven, what's up, man? I'm just doing a little bit of extra work on Ultra Magnus, getting it ready for Monday. I printed some parts out. I have more parts printing now, though, for Monday's build. But I kind of just needed to do a little bit of extra work. Come on. A little boil on that one. Easy day, okay. And last one done. So there was one other thing I did kind of want to see is what a blind joint would look like drilled into it. I'm going to go ahead and test that on the red piece to see, because I don't want to drill these ones with that additional blind joint. It's probably overkill for the amount of security I'm putting on these front parts, but can never be too secure, right? I guess. Need my metal brush real quick. Gotta keep your taps clean and put them away. Very good. Yeah, Brandon is using a 3D printed BMG extruder, I believe. I forget the name, what it's called, but that's what he's using on his. I'm going with a standard bare extruder on mine because I like it. Put scraps here. Some the trash. Okay, yeah. So again, I want to see what that looks like, and I believe the spacing on that is 40 millimeters. So I just need to drill 2 holes into this extrusion. We'll check this. Oh no, it's only going to be only 20 millimeters apart. Yeah, 20 mils apart. And the edge is going to be half the extrusion there, which is 10 mil. All right, so we need to measure in 10 millimeters. You go 20 millimeters. There. All right, we got our 2 marks now. And then I need to see, so for the M5 pan heads that I'm going to use to secure this, do I have any M5 pan heads out already? Let me see what I got up here in the drawer. M5 bolts. Yeah, I need some that are at least 10 millimeters long. 15s would be better though. Nothing in there. Okay, so let's go to the drawer. I just want to measure, make sure I'm using the right size Allen wrench so that I can drill out an appropriate hole for the Allen wrench to go through. M5 hardware. Don't think a 10 millimeter will be. Oh, that's long enough. Shoot. All right, yeah. So this is going to take probably a 3 millimeter driver. Yeah, 3 millimeter. So we'll drill a 3.5 millimeter hole in here. So 3.5 mil bit. Where's my little wood block? Here in my office, I keep a little piece of wood so that I can drill holes in things and not go through my table. Perfect. We're in there. We just need to get two. What do we need to do that? We got two 10mm M5 bolts. See if I can show this to you guys. Really hard to show here. Well, you'll be able to kind of see it here. So the way that this works is we take these and stay 3mm. Okay. So we put these into the extrusion. See, this just is going to slide over those till it's at the point we want it. Stick the Allen head in there and tighten it down over here. A little bit better here, like that. One. I think I'm missing that one a little bit. Oh, I flashed it on my phone. Derp. By just a smidge. Why we test. Why we test. Oh, that's a 2.5. Where's the 3mm at? It's too big. The wee hobbit's too big. Because this isn't cured, it is definitely flaking off there. I'll show you guys here 1 second. Let me get this flashlight off. Okay. So, let's see if I can spin this around here. It looks like that. Now that's if I do the blind joints from the front. I don't like that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead with the ones from the top to hold it in. Because I mean, even as of right now, it's on there rock solid. But I think it will be just fine having these on there. That's butted up against there. We'll have plenty of rigidity, because even now, I mean, this thing doesn't, there's no twisting or anything like that. It's completely solid. And then I do have the little caps on here. Go on the edge like that. To kind of button it up a little bit there. Whoops. That one's too big for this one. But yeah, those caps will go on there like that. So I don't like the way the holes look. And again, it's pretty hard, but it's definitely not fully cured. That's okay. Take this off real quick. And then if I knock over all those M4s, I'll be ticked. I definitely think painting will work out. I really do. I guess, again, in the spirit of testing, since I'm testing, I'll go ahead and test out using the T-nut joints there to hold that on and see how that works as well. Don't drop. Okay. So, again, I can use the stock 20 mil bolts that were on this, go straight down through the top into a T-nut. Two. This way so you guys can't see that. There, like so. Show you this now. Okay. And then that's how that looks now. No holes in the front. Held on at the top. And we'll have this, and we'll have the corner bracket will be on there like that. And that's how that front is going to end up looking. So I think that'll be pretty good. I do wish I had a longer piece. I guess I don't have to use black since I'm not going to, if I'm going to paint it, I can go ahead and make this a little bit longer. So that won't be too bad, I guess. Do wish I had a way to cover those up though. That's kind of annoying. But it is what it is. When you're reusing parts, none of it's going to be perfect. It's kind of inevitable. So, at least we know that works. So I'll paint these, see how they turn out after I clean them again, because they have some oil on them now from tapping. Those will all get cleaned, dried very well, and then painted tomorrow. Ramses. Yeah, I think that'll be good. So I'm just going to go ahead and pre-install all of those bolts and T-nuts so that they are ready to go for tomorrow, for Monday. I'm saying tomorrow. I keep thinking tomorrow. Today feels like Sunday, which is kind of a pain, but just want to make sure that everything is ready to go. Put a little oil on here. And we can do that. So, Ender 3 Pro would build a switch wire. Could I use much of the extrusion Ender 3 Pro to save money and resources? Beryl, I don't know really anything about the switch wire. If Kennedy is here, I know that he should know about it. I don't know if Aaron does. But I am a huge proponent of reusing extrusion from one printer for another because I've done that a few times now, actually, and I'll be doing it more times in the future. Someone had asked me if I was going to do that with my two Ender 3s that I'm going to be getting rid of, and the answer was no, because I can sell those and get a little bit of money for them rather than build another printer, which I really don't need any other printer. Like I need a hole in the head. All right, I'm missing one last bolt here somewhere. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. away. Yeah, I'm missing one of the bolts and I don't know where it is. I have another one here I could use, but looks different. Whoa, I don't like that. Come on. Well, I'm sure I'll find it as I dig through more stuff here. Not terribly important at the moment. Tight. Where that wandered off to. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take apart the X and Z axis just to get that kind of pre-staged for tomorrow, so it's done Monday. Dang it, Monday, Shane. Not tomorrow, Monday. Again with it. Hey, Darren. The way. Well, again, in the meantime, I can go ahead and take apart X and Z axis. Yeah, this did have little grub screws to hold in. That's too big. Smaller. Of course, those don't work with ball joints. So, let's see, I think that was 1.5 mil or a mil. Not that one. Not that one. Too big. 1.5 mil. 1.5 mil it is. Come on. Oh, man. Those are quite the bugger, I guess. Now, these ones don't even have it on it. There we go. So I could reuse the bearings, but I'm not. I'm actually going to go with IGIS, or IGIS, however people want to call them, bearings on the X and Y axis. Oh man, those are greasy. There's no grub screw's not in there. Oh, it's coming. It's just slowly. There we go. Okay. So we've got 2 X-axis rods. So someone's asking about on these about they're leaving grooves. There's nothing on the X. I didn't notice anything on Z. And looking on Y, I do see some bearing grooves. Not even grooves, it's more like, I guess, wearing away, because these are not the proper rods, I guess. But I don't know if I'll be able to show this on camera or not. Probably not without like a macro lens or something. But if we can look, where's my camera? So it's really hard to tell. You can kind of see you can see where it's kind of worn away a little bit. So I guess the rumor for that is true, that these are more coated instead of being like the hardened steel rods that they're supposed to be. But with IGES bearings, it won't really matter because they won't wear, shouldn't wear, right? So I don't think it'll be a problem. But yeah, that's one of those aspects of the review that was a little bit tough because, I mean, it could be from their bearings. It could be from their rods. I don't know. Definitely keep these end stops and whatnot. But I do want to save the bearing out of this one. Again, I might reuse those. That can get put away. That can get put away. Just gonna go in there. But I'd already started mocking up a little bit with the RMP. What are these? These RJ4Ps 0108s in there. As long as you don't squeeze them too tight, these ones should work. I had some beige colored ones that I received from IGES a long time ago, and those don't fit in here. They're a little too fat. I was going to do a cheap 2.4 and $2,100 later I've worn. That's insane it costs that much. I'm not too worried about it either way, Llama. It's not really, again, I'm kind of eliminating that as a factor. So I do want to know, though, if I have... Let's put that away. I don't need that right now. But on the bare end, have the idler bearing holder. So I do have some tooth pulleys that I was going to use. I guess I probably still should just go ahead and use the tooth pulleys. There's no reason not to, right? Because tooth is better than flat. And I did order from Printed Solid some of the bare pins that I need. I didn't want to cut down an M3 again, which is what I did for all my other builds. I went the cheap route. But I was already ordering stuff from Printed Solid, so adding those in did not hurt at all. I think they're like $1 a piece, maybe. And I ordered 5 or 6 in here. I ordered 5. And that'll get me set because I need those for some of the other builds that I'm doing. I'm going to need these. Aaron, yeah, I've been seeing you talk about the 0.6 giving you a hard time, which is interesting because the 0.6 is, I've gotten great prints. Going larger than the 0.6 for me has been truly, truly hard to figure out. I really had not been able to do it. Lyman pliers provided by Aaron. Kept giving me a hard time not having Lyman pliers, so he went ahead and bought me a pair. So I am cutting down an M3 for the front bearing. How the front tensioner looks for this part of it. I need to figure out all the different pieces that I need to make this work, because I didn't mock that together yet. I did get the bottom mounts for the bed printed out and made sure that the I-joist bearings worked. I do, alternatively, if I don't like those, I have a separate set of mounts to go, and these are zip tie-in, but I can use the standard LM8 UU bearings in these ones if I decide to do so, and those can again be zip tied in. Yeah, these work for cutting M3s really nicely. Oh, what else here? Get put away. All right, so again, I have those X rods ready to go. That with that extrusion. Oh, I wanted to go ahead and install a few of my nice little corner brackets just up in the top there for giggles, because why not? Let's see if any of the M4s that I have left work. I don't think so. So get out. Fours. Eight mils. Yeah, we'll use 8mm ones. Those are long enough. I need the T-nuts. T-nuts. Although I think I want to use pan head and not socket cap heads. Yeah, we use pan heads for these ones. The first time I did play with a 0.6, though, it did take a minute to get it kind of sorted out, because it just wanted to fight me most of the way. But I'm sure it's probably that way for like other nozzles. I mean, you got people like Christopher Cocky printing with a 1.8mm nozzle, which is pure insanity, to be honest. Like, and the fact that he got it working is even more insane, I think. Because it is a crazy looking print to print as wide as the filament width. Wow, that's I've not. Well, did they do full 2mm with probably 3mm filament though? Because I honestly don't really know how Chris got it to work, to be honest. But I think if you're doing 2mm, you have to use 3mm filament. All right, we got the little corners in there, looking spiffy. The rest of this is pretty good right now, I think. Did want to do something else tonight though. What was it? Put these Allen wrenches back. So I'm down to, on the red parts for the printer, I'm down to just the actual round roller for, there's that other bolt. The round roller for the spool holder is the last thing that is printing right now. Everything else on that plate is complete, which is great. I may end up playing with off camera how to do the cable chain. Still not convinced I really know how I'm going to make that happen, to be honest. I've seen pictures, I talked to Aaron about it. Just the reality of doing it is something that I'm still trying to toy with to make sure it's actually going to work properly, where I'm going to line it up at and whatnot. Because I do have to square up the bed and everything like that. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Through my printing notes to make sure I had everything printed out that I needed. What else was there? Those parts, fan parts, idler, holder, top plates, beams. I have standoff for the bed because I'm going to go ahead and just do aluminum standoffs on the bed just to make that solid. Oh, I do need to solder the bed. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow while I'm kind of messing around to the house to get that done. So it widens coming out. Oh, okay. Yeah, he did some. I don't know. It's cool. Said it's the fact that it's possible is cool. That is a nozzle size that will never be useful to me. I just have no need for that big of a nozzle size, and it really is just for fun. I mean, he's not doing it for anything other than, hey, look what I can do. I think he's just having fun with it at this point. So the only actually metal bearings I'll have in this is going to be on the Z, because it's kind of a waste to put just in there. And come on, why are you stuck? Oh, there we go. I also don't have enough to do it either way. Confirm that these fit properly. Oh yeah, that is flush with the top there, and flush with the top there. Show you guys those real quick here. Zoom out. Whoa, not to me. Look up a little bit. There we go. So here we have the top mounts. Whoops. And there, and again, this hole here is widened so that the lead screw should come up in here, but it's got a ton of wiggle room in there, and it will be just like a little further down than that. I got to take out the grub screws a little bit, but either way, it'll be just around in there. So it won't be captive, because that is a no-no. I kind of just want to see how everything fits together and works. Well, 0.4 is, Ryan, 0.4 is fine on a small printer, but it's pretty pointless on a large printer. You know, this is, I believe I'm going to put, what am I putting in this? I don't even know what I'm going to put on this one. I think I have a 0.6 that I'm going to put on the JG Aurora, but I don't know what size I'm going to put on here, because I'm not doing a volcano block for now. We're going standard here, but maybe I'll go ahead. I know I have a 0.5. Maybe I'll do 0.5 on this printer, just to make it a little different. But I'm not liking how that printed right there. That did not come out too spectacular. It's good enough. I mean, this is not a show printer. I like my printers to look nice, but they're definitely not for like competition shows and whatnot. But either way, yeah, I might do a 0.5 on this printer just because that's what I have laying around. I don't want to do a 0.8 in a non-volcano. That's just too slow of a print time. But a 0.5 with a standard block will be good. White with the red, thanks. That does look really good. This is really cool. This is the universal SKR box. The only thing that Aaron modified was the front of it, which we put on the Ultra Magnus logo. The Ultra Magnus logo is on here several times. It's actually the thumbnail. So I printed this out. So I took his logo and I went ahead and made it into a just a split print. So I printed some white PETG, put some blue PETG on the bottom of it, and this case badge is actually going to go on the power supply right there. I know it's hard to see, but then I'm gonna actually just glue that onto there. I did try to model it into the case, but its details are really, really small, and they weren't showing up well when printed horizontally, or yeah, horizontally. But when I print him vertically and just split the print, throw a little bit of CA glue on the back of this or hot glue, slap it on the side, and it also gives a little more 3D, a little more depth to the print and things like that. So I do like the way that that case badge turned out. All right, so I think the last thing tonight is to attempt and increase the length on the power supply cable. Because other than that, I've did pretty much all the pre-work I wanted to do today, which mainly the extrusion was like the biggest thing, which like make sure I like that, how it looks, how I'm going to hook it up. I already have all the T-nuts prepped and ready to go. I just have to drill out a few of these here for the M6s. So once those come in, I'm going to install them with just the M5 for now. Once the M6 comes in, I can literally just zip 4 of those in there and it's done. But that can be at a later time. So I think first thing is let's find some cabling to use. And I think, you know what? I think I can just reuse some other stuff that I have here. Is it in this box? This box is long enough. So I have, no, that's not long enough. I have this stuff, which is not long enough. I might have some in the other box. Oop, that's definitely not long enough. I do have the bed cable from the BLV bed. That's useless. I could reuse, I could take the black and red off of this. That's too short. This is way too short. These ones are too short. I like that cable though. It's too short though. But this looks to be heavy enough. This is 16 gauge. So this thicker stuff I have is, I think it might be 14 gauge. Yeah, what's this thicker stuff? It is, you're gonna tell me? Oh, I think it's European junk. Yeah, 14 gauge. So 16 gauge should be fine for main power. Let me see what I have down in the bin. I agree, Ryan, with that. I do. I mean, again, so the FT5 is a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. That is my large printer with a small nozzle. So I think if you're going to have more than one, you should have one with a big nozzle, one with a small nozzle. It also depends what you're printing. I mean, if you do commissioned work and it's all for high detailed, enormous models, I mean, by all means, then install what is necessary for your use case. Oh, wire in here still. We have motor cables. Do not want to move all this stuff off of here, and I might have to. Son of a gun. All right. Bunch of stuff here real quick so I can see what's in the bins. Fan is definitely in the way. It's not raining right now, so I can put it in the window, I guess. Not too buggy today either. Surprisingly, with all the rain. All right, is it in this bin? Negatory. Big bin. I think it's in my real big one down here. Here's all power supplies, 3D printing junk. Oh yeah, here we go. I do have it here. I have more of that 14 gauge wire. We'll go ahead and use this stuff. One thing I did realize that I did not print though was any type of 2020 clips to kind of hold onto the wires and whatnot. So I'm gonna kind of do a survey tonight or tomorrow, and I'm gonna print those out in, I don't know, maybe white. I think white on the black extrusion would look good. Might do that. Jim's here. What's up, Jim? See you, Llama. So yeah, I have this 14 gauge silicone flexible wire, which is very useful. Again, I thought I had that, and thankfully I was right. I'll just end up saving this power cable because I'll end up using it on something at some point. Take the, just put this up here. Real tall power supply, look at that. And then just to take out this one screw on the side here. Oh, of course, it's going to be difficult. I do need to get out my crimpers and crimps. That. Easy day. Need a Phillips head. Come on. My hole is like just big enough to fit these cables through with the crimps on. Sometimes a bit difficult to get them through. There we go. So this will go into the save bin because again, I hoard, and we need crimps down. Crimp terminals. And the crimpers here. I do want to get a new pair of terminal crimps. Just not a huge fan of these ones. They work, just not my favorite. So we can use reds on this side. Here, there it is. Wire strippers. Depth there. More depth. red done, and then black. Okay, and then we put the other crimp on. There's that one. Easy day so far. Black, because I also need to just kind of mock the board in there. I've not put the board in yet, and I need to just make sure that I really do make these long enough because it is quite far. So we've got negative going there. Okay, and then positive. Just do it. Yeah. To a positive terminal. Close the door this time. And now we can put this back together. That's connected. Now we can drop the hat back down. Power supply is secure. And then what now? I need to figure out cable routing. Yeah, I think I'll just end up using those clips. The Y motor will hold in part of these wires as well. So I'm gonna run them inside the back piece of extrusion there. So I just have to make sure that my tension is right. We'll leave a little bit of extra once we get into the enclosure here. But I went ahead and put all the bolts in yesterday just to make sure they all fit in properly. Everything was aligned. One of the nuts was actually cross-threading, so I had to go ahead and remove that one. Place it. Three, and three. Okay. Ooh. Oh, that's not gonna work. Do in there. Going down to there, bring it in the extrusion. I'm gonna go down through there, all the way over, up here, over to there. There's a little bit of extra on that. And cutters. Okay, it's red. Now black, we can just make the same length. It should be hunky-dory. I need to put ferrules on the end of this because I think the BTT board Uses ferrules. I think. I need to look at the SKR again to double check that. Which is here. Even the tooth infection. That sounds brutal. Yeah, so these uses ferrules. So I need to get out. Need to strip these down first. Different set of crimpers. Handles. Crimpers. These are up here. We're gonna go with black. These ones, that should be big enough for these. These are all definitely things to have. I've been talking about a video for a little while to do is just like the various tools and supplies that I have when doing like custom builds like this. And it's actually why Aaron had sent me some tools, just things I didn't have that I wanted. I just have to get around to making that. Maybe I'll do that next week, maybe. Okay, so these can get fed up through here. I really hope I don't script the length on this, because that would just be quite shameful of me. Just get tucked in there, real nice and pretty like. And I'll add some other extrusion deals to this. Again, I'll get some of those various wire clamps, 3D printed clamps to put in there, and that will help with, because I'll have the Z motor wire coming around the backside. I might have another power cable running to here. I don't know yet. I think I can hold all of that down in the bottom, but then I'll have the Y cable coming, Z cable coming around. That should be it from that side of the printer. But yeah, that should look pretty nice and clean once all is said and done there. Make sure to close these. I can't tell you how many times I've dropped these different things, whether it's DuPont or JSTs or ferrules I've dropped, and it is a almost make a grown man cry type of moment, because you just look down and they are everywhere on your floor and you're just like, it's going to take me hours to clean all that stuff up. That is definitely a heart-wrenching moment when you drop that kind of stuff. It just goes everywhere. And then for the next like year, you're finding crimps and things like that, because they literally went everywhere. I'm liking this so far. I think it's looking pretty slick. I do say so myself. Not too much left to do on it. I think everyone has, Brandon. I mean, I was live the one time and the cat knocked over this M3 catalog that I made. So I bought some little mini fishing boxes. So this M3 catalog has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different sizes sorted in it. There's hundreds of bolts in here. And that little bugger knocked this over on a stream, and it took everything in me not to cuss, because man, I wanted to just send that cat somewhere else real quick. I was so ticked off when that happened. So ticked off. And he knew it too. He ran real quick. He knew I was angry. Bins back real quick because these are totally in my way now. I do need to go into this bin though and get out the sleeving, because even after I solder the bed, I'm going to sleeve the cables and then put them inside the cable chain just to give me a little bit more reduction of friction, so that the sleeve is what is being removed around inside the cable chain and it's not the cable on the plastic cable chain. Don't want any friction in there. And this can go up here now, out of the way, because I don't need that. This can go here. Now we got some space again. And we're cooking with gas. Yeah, but the only other cable I think I'll need to run is I'll need to run the power for the Easy ABL. I don't know if the power cable that comes with it is long enough, which I really don't think it is. Yeah, this is the power cable that comes with the Easy ABL. Not long enough. So I'll have to get out some smaller gauge wire and run this to it. But the thing is, I don't know. I need to hit up Tim though. Can the Easy ABL run off of 24 volts? I don't know. I'm actually going to text him right now because I don't know if it can. If it can't, I don't think it's a big problem because I can just put in a block down converter, a DC DC down converter, not block down converter, DC DC down converter. And the Easy ABL that I have run on 24 volts. We'll see what he says. Because again, I have an old version 3 Easy ABL. I just don't know. It's definitely long enough cable, so I'm not worried about the cable being too short. It's just power cable, have to do a new power cable. That's not a huge deal. That's super simple to do. Well, Brandon, yeah, the Under 3 is 24 volt. This is older than the Under 3, though. It might. I'd rather ask him and be sure rather than try it. I think I have one more left after this one, which is, I don't know what I'm putting on Megatron. Megatron's either getting an Easy ABL or it's getting a standard LVJ inductive probe. This is a capacitive probe. So I'm not 100% sure on that. Got the hot end ready to go. Yeah, so the goal is Monday, get the hot end assembled, get the Z-axis and X-axis all on here and assembled, and then we can worry about Y. I thought about doing Y tonight, but I'm not feeling it. There's a lot of screws that need to come off, and a lot of screws have to go back in order to, because each of these suckers is 4 bolts. Each of these 3D printed things is 4 bolts. So I have to put 4 bolts in every single one of those, which is a huge pain. And they also have to have nuts on them, I believe, because these have threaded inserts in them. Mine don't. So that's just going to be a pain. That might be an off-camera thing, because that's going to take a while. But we'll see what I end up getting done the rest of tonight and tomorrow. But I don't know how much longer I'm going to work on this tonight. I have a few more prints I want to get started. Again, so I have the Prusa Mini clones here, and I printed the base parts, which look fantastic. So here is the front base part for it. This is 4 or 5 perimeters, 6 top, 6 bottom, 30% infill. These weigh a ton. So I'm hoping that this will be enough to give me really good rigidity on the extrusion for the base. And I'm hoping that it will give me also a little bit more weight to the printer just to keep it down. That is the problem with, if I didn't have the power supply hooked up to Master Crane, which is back there, the printer would be really, really lightweight. And honestly, I'd be worried about it moving when it does move, like the whole printer moving around the table, because it's so lightweight. But that having the power supply slapped on the side of it really gives it that low center of gravity and really holds it down in place. So that is the one thing I was a little worried about this one. But these parts came out really nicely. I have all the black parts are printed out and done, ready to go. I have a little bit of cleanup to do on this box. It is a little bit hairy in a few little places. Oh, I did print the knob. Okay, forgot I printed that. But again, this is a little bit hairy in a few spots, so I do need to clean that up. Otherwise, everything is really, really strong, it feels so far. And I think it'll work out well. I'm going to do all the colored parts, I think tonight on the Mark III's, once it finishes printing the last parts for Ultra Magnus. Just because I could do it on the Bear, which I printed other parts for Ultra Magnus on the Bear and on Megatron. But since the i3 Mark III's has the power resume, I am more likely to print these long prints. And all of the parts for that, let me pull that up here for you guys. Here, and then go to here. So to print all of these parts in color in PETG is, all right, that's on the Bear. Let's switch this over to switch over to the Mark III's, yes. And then we're doing 0.2 quality, percent PETG. We're doing 20% and slice. Let's see, because it would take a day on the Bear. I wonder if the Mark III's will print any faster. I don't think it does. I think they're both set up to be exactly the same for the most part. Ryan, I am building the Mini completely stock first, and then I will look at modifications, because I know that there's already mods out for it, but I want to see, the clone is supposed to be a 1-for-1 clone of the Mini exactly. So I want to build it like that, and then if I need to make any changes, I will do it afterwards. It's the same thing I did on the Hypercube and everything else. I want to build it stock. Again, it is a clone, but I want to build it stock first. And then I'll look into modifications, like Greg, the guy that did the Bear, he changed the angle that the cable is going back to make it a little more streamlined. I do want to do that, but I want to build it this way first and go from there. So all the parts that I just had up on the screen, those are all going to be colored parts. And actually, I just noticed the PSU already has the heated bed cable covers already there. So that'll save a little bit of time. I don't have to print those now. Yes, I did get the bigger screen. I got the 3.5 inch. And I do have Fisex. They linked the model to Thingiverse that has it. So I do need to print that out in color after I'm going to do all of these parts first, because this is 22 hours and 27 minutes. So if I start that later tonight, that will be done Sunday night, presumably. The Mark III's is pretty good on its time, but that'll be done tomorrow night. And then if I don't go to bed yet, but Monday morning, I will do the screen for that. And I'm looking to next week build that printer. So we'll see how it goes. XZ clamps, super beefy. XZ clamp. I don't know what the XZ clamp is. But all this will have 3 or 4 walls, 20-25% infill probably. I think I have it already set right now for 3 walls on default here. So they will be pretty beefy. Good night. So yeah, it should work out pretty well. And we'll see how it goes. I'm not terribly worried. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and end it at that tonight. So this has another 49 minutes left on that spool. It takes a long time to print that real tall spool holder. But yeah, so we'll let that finish up. I think we're in a good place. This is feeling like an awesome, awesome mod. It's looking fantastic. I was really worried having, my IKEA bin full of parts just printed and trying to figure out what color to print it in and did I get all the right parts. And as I'm slowly building through this, again, I did notice I missed a few of the corner brackets and I didn't have the right bed mounts. Fine, no big deal. But now that I do have them, I think it's going to be a pretty smooth rest of the build. I think we'll have 2 more days of build. So if I do Monday and Friday of building this, and then next Saturday we can do the firmware. And then when we do the firmware, that's pretty much going to be that whole night. I have Brandon's firmware. I think, Brandon, you might need to send that to me again. I don't remember if I kept it or not. But he did give me a firmware to start off with. So I will go ahead and use that. And did he text me back yet? No. We didn't even receive it yet. Yeah, we'll do firmware, and then we'll be able to start doing some test prints with this. And then once that's done, that brings us, I think, pretty much to the week of Christmas. So maybe I'll be able to do the mini that Monday night, the Monday before Christmas. I think that will be, I think that'll be fun. I have 2 of them. Right now, I'm only planning on building 1 of them. But we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. And yeah, Brandon, the only thing I need to change of that is just the board type. Everything else, the pins are pretty much the same. But I can also compare it to Megatron's build because this is Megatron, just bigger. Which honestly, I could just use my Megatron firmware and change the LCD screen and what else? The build volume. That's pretty much it. Everything else is pretty much identical. So, no, Ryan, no one likes watching me make firmware because it is like pulling teeth. And you should know that. You are a sadistic SOB for saying that. I truly think that. But that's going to be it for tonight, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for hanging out with me. About an hour and a half in now. So I think we're at a really good place. I hope you guys are enjoying the build. I hope you're enjoying kind of my journey of figuring this out. Again, this is a fairly custom build here. We are reusing parts from the bear and whatnot. But other than really the bear extruder and the ends, everything else here is really, really custom. I mean, it is someone else's SKR mount, but it's a fun build. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to help me build projects like this and do things, consider becoming a patron. There's a link for that down below. Otherwise, you can help out. There's some one-time donation links. There's also a bunch of affiliate links down there. I use all the money that I get in those affiliate links to buy parts. That's what I use to buy a lot of the various parts for this build, along with other ones. So I appreciate everyone using all those links. And there's also coupon codes down there. Save yourself some money on some parts and filament. So thank you all for joining and hope you have a good night. See you guys Monday night for another part of the Ultra Magnus build. Have a good night. I'll see you.